you are able to kind of get rid of these weak men from these countries. Now, I'm not saying they won't still assert their influence because they have really gone far. And this has been like a century of Cold War, which they have involved us as Africans now, right? But we can change the deal. Look at what is going on in Mali, in Niger, in Burkina Faso. It's not that it's not that they have had the whole way out, but somehow now they are actually having a negotiation, renegotiating the deal that benefits them more. If it remains so, well, their story could be so different from what it has been. But that's my own view, though.
Understandable. When are we gonna do that? Because they have in abundance those that we use. Even in Mali, I think in Burkina Faso, I think it was in Burkina Faso or Mali. That young guy was the other guy. I think.
It's Burkina Faso.
How many times they have tried to Burkina Faso
to assassinate him? That's the battle.
And they're using their people.
Do you know that if they succeed in assassinating him, it's not because Americans are too smart. It's not because the French are so powerful. It's because his own brothers, one of them, will have to give way. Somebody has to give access to them. For now, he's enjoying the protection and love of his people. But if you hear tomorrow that he's being killed, I promise you, it's not Americans that go in there and do it. Somebody will do it for them.
One of them. One of them.
So that's the issue.
One of them. That's the issue. So when are we gonna master the trick?
Like stay together, bond together. None of them has African interest at that. What they have always come for is what you have. Now we are not saying don't take it because it's like you've controlled that already. Or we must get the best part of the deal now, or you won't take anything from us. So if you have people who can stand their ground that way, so gradually, if it stays that way for long, right? Then we end the respect and maybe we can be out of the wood.
Anyway, that's your word, but I doubt that, man.
But it is possible. That's why some of us believe that if we can save Nigeria, as Nigeria can be saved, can we at least save ourselves and save our lives? We have identity before they try to force this on us. So if we can convince all of us and say, can we just face our own identity and face our problem from wherever we come from? I'm a Yoruba man, and we have more than 60 million Yorubas that we can see exist today. So those 60 million can actually be a country. And whatever problem we're going to face, we can handle it. That's why people like me is pushing for that too. But again, we shall try to do something.
Anyway, I don't know what to say. Anyway, let me believe you, but I doubt if you can do it because between us, we have a lot of moles, and they must find somebody to do the work for them. They must.
I know.
They must. If you say that you master this one,
that has always been.
There's the moles. Some are looking for the power for
some will just be like, most of it is coming from a place of jealousy. Do you know that?
Yeah, of course. Especially,
It's not always like money, because most people who kind of carry out this assignment for these people, most of them are close to power too. They lack nothing. It's just that they just don't like the personality leading them.
Maybe they want to be the one in charge.
They want to be the one, exactly. Just jealousy.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they will help them to change the trajectory of their country and their people for the worse.
Anyway, thank you so much. I love what they're doing. I've been following you more than 5 years or 7 years. I can from the kitchen.
God bless you.
From the Alessia.
Bless you, man. Thank you so much. Okay, please keep calling and all that so I can get used to pronouncing that name better, right? You have a very good one, sir.
You know your faith.
Yeah.
Faith.
Like faith, okay?
Yeah. Faith.
Faithful.
Face of the faces. Like your face. Your face.
My face.
Your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Faces.
Oh, faces.
Yeah.
Why do you choose that? You should have given me something different. I've been struggling with faces and oh dear. I wouldn't believe a man would just be faces. Anyway, now I do. So I have a
I
faces.
abbreviate my name anyway.
No, it's all right. I get it now.
My name is Boris, so I call it Faces.
Bless you, man. Thank you so much, though. Right?
I'm following you for your what I call it, your Facebook. I mean, I say Facebook. I've been following for Facebook. I follow you on Twitter. You can see the face of Faces. That's me on
face
Twitter.
Of Faces. Now I do.
Yeah.
God bless you. Now I do know better now, Baba. In fact, you've now stood out. Okay, you stand out now, and I can say, yeah, when that line rings again, I will know who's on the other side. So thank you so much, Baba. Okay,
You're
enjoy
welcome.
the rest of your day.
All right,
have a good one, sir. So that's face of faces, or just faces. How horrible it can be. You see, this is why I put this on. It's just that sometimes when I put it on, it just kind of blank me out from everything else, And I like to be observant of I can know that some, but this one is just going to make me like totally, you see? And you won't even know if you are screaming. I won't know if I am screaming as well. So I will just have to kind of be acting like, trying to kind of know. Anyway, Sha, I can hear everyone that calls me now. And if you say it better, I will hear it better. Here is Jima Gudu, a very dear brother. How are you?
I'm good, my good baba.
Jima.
My good baba.
Yo, Jima.
Gongon. You know Gongon, you just remain Gongon, make I begin a bit Gongon for you.
Remain. You know that kind of thing.
Yeah.
When you say that thing to the recording right now, when they bring the beat on, you just say gagang, gagang, like
gagang.
Jima.
Thank you, my brother.
Good dude.
How's the family, Gary?
I am very well, Baba. We thank God. We are still
bless
here.
You, man. Bless you, man.
How are you?
Bless you, man. How's my little Layla?
Well, she's there too. Very, very, very big trouble, Baba. Honestly.
I
don't
know. I just been.
They have this privilege, right? An entitlement too. I don't like getting them when they are that young. But what can you do?
Now all of them get out. All these Oyibo picking, all these our Oyibo pickings. Now all of them get out.
They can always be very dumb, and they are very funny too. Like
funny.
When they begin to kind of respond to communication, right? You can love it. You see that time when they put up their tantrum, man, you just want somebody to come and take them. Can I donate this kid to you for 2 days? Okay, like that.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. It's a long topic, and we already have enough wahala on our hands. Enough wahala on our hands.
You should be thanking God.
Abi.
So, we are back. You dey watch am?
I did watch them. I did comment section. Me and then one true emperor and the African wahala. Anybody will do anyhow na to quack am. Person go quack the leg. The other person go use and slam dunk. Say kill on so. We the whole so remember now we do am there.
Please keep it up, all of you. Okay. You see, we were here, Yima. We were here when they were calling us enemies of Nigeria. Have you forgotten? That we didn't wish Nigeria well.
God will shame us. We were the ones they were calling wailing wailers.
And now some even said that we will be. I mean, if by the time the Nigeria here start flying, we will not be alive in Jesus' name. But you see,
no be here with this,
we didn't hear. No
be here with this,
of the Nigeria here. Solomon Grundy, born on Monday, Christian on Tuesday, died on Saturday. Baba. Now we can't see all these musketeers. They are not here to say, "Oh, sorry, Mayegu, that we doubted you then." Sorry, everybody, that we doubted you, that it was fake. We thought you were enemy. They are not here. They are with
so when giants enter place, all crickets, they keep quiet. They'll have to keep quiet now because we told them from the get-go that what Sirika is doing is nowhere near any serious country who wants to have an airline would start with. Do you know what goes on? Do you know what goes on behind the scenes before you jump on that plane that you're flying? You have ground crew, you have air crew, you have aeronautic engineers, you have maintenance crew.
Safety measures. You will build things.
All the safety measures.
You have to build things to show your safety level. None of this was going on. No, they wait. At the airport, they wait for plane to land. I said, hey, Nigeria here today. 200 million.
And that is an example of educated people. That is people that will call themselves educated. Oh, more. You don't know how it is, what it takes to establish an airline. But you call yourself an educated person. Man,
is that not the same thing they are doing right now, Jima? Nobody since last year, I don't shout, say, another fake student loan, a fake. I even kept on saying, not that I want to see it as fair, I mean, as not happening. I would love them to do it, especially for the poor who can afford their fees, right? Make it easier, accessible, no stress, no nothing. Shebina, since last year, I don't cry that one. There are educated people in Nigeria that believe that student loan is something that somebody can just say, oh, we have put 10 billion now. Oh, we'll put another 20 billion tomorrow. Do you even understand what it means? These questions are being asked. They say we'll be enemy.
Even if you love it, even if you pray, even if you do, even if you do everything possible for that thing to happen, it won't happen in Nigeria because you have not taken the right step to doing something like that.
No.
So even if we love it for them to have the student loan so that you can help the poor students to go to school, it won't happen.
Wishes don't make things happen. You don't wish things to happen. You have to do something. You have to put boots on the ground to show that this is what we are doing. And this number of people, 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, who access it. This is the source of the funding. It is endless. Papa, you have to be clear. But you're running. Ashiwaju said, I won't weary.
Those guys matter sometimes. That's why most of the time I just laugh because it becomes stupid when you know that something, that the position that these guys are taking is not going to work out. You've seen it 1,000 times. You know it that 1,000 times that if you don't take the right steps to do something, the end result will not be good. No. The end result, whose children are going to be kicked out of school now? Shebi I hear say he's not Trent University for UK here. So then chase some Nigerians out of their accommodation and school district. Who is bearing the brunt of it now? Is our Tinubu's children or his minister's children? Are they being chased out? But your own children are being chased out because you decided that this is what you want. This is the kind of human being you want. You are telling me that, okay, now with this book where you read now, where this book will just say CIA has agents in virtually every place and where they want them to be. In any organization that they want to place them, they place those guys. Are you telling me that me and you now, if we go sell drugs for UK, God forbid, if we go sell drugs for United States now, and I don't mean this ordinary peddling, we are distributors, distributors of this thing.
We say for one account, I get.
Will you ever go back to America? Will you ever go back to America? No, me and you, will we ever be allowed back into America?
If I don't come out there.
That's to tell you that when you come online and people are talking about how the imperialists and how the colonialists have done so much damage to us, and you come and say something like, that was a long time ago, we should move on. Are they the ones in the power now? You are making yourself look like an illiterate online. Yes. These guys still have enormous influence in that place. In virtually everything that you can think of, every sector.
You know, even Escobar. Escobar that was moving drug into the United States. It wasn't just moving drugs, it was moving drug all over the world. Okay. So United States decided to say, it was becoming a thing, the Medellin cartel, what are they called, right? Now, you got arrested at the end of the day. They had to organize, or somebody will be the accountant of heroin trafficker that destroyed Chicago at the time. There was this American report, Yima, that said American government in the 70s, 80s, they deliberately increased crack supply to some part of America, especially Chicago, just to make sure that Black American families completely broken up, become addicted, and it happened. So wait, if American government or American CIA or whatever did that to their people in the 70s and 80s, then there is this Nigerian who entered America in the early 70s, somehow appeared at their airport. Then years later, he was accused of forfeiting, what do you call it? He was accused of running heroin trafficking with other guys, to the point that they went to Nigeria. They picked up his partners. That part of the story is not emphasized enough, Yima. They went to Nigeria. One of them who ran to Nigeria, they got him and took him back to the US. Others who wanted to run, they grabbed them. These are Bele guys and others. They went to jail for that crime. It was during that arrangement, that conversation. But what saved Tifnumbu, that we believe saved him, was because he has managed to escape to Nigeria early enough. And the fact that he's already joining politics, what do you call it? Democratic, DECO. CIA saw an opportunity. Why send him to jail when somebody like this can be a president or something in the future?
We can recruit him. We can recruit him. People
So
don't put the dots
and
together.
All of this information, American government said, FBI said they would release them. Last minute, they said they will redact them. They will remove everywhere his name appears on that document of heroin trafficking and all of that investigation, redacted. Do you need anybody to tell you more now about how CIA and the rest of them works?
You don't find that suspicious? Come on. People don't think sometimes. I don't know why they just make mouth.
Click up for a lot of people. Though what people will ask you next is that, then what are we going to do now? Me.
No, wait for me. I look for answer. No, wait for me. Wait for me. They look for answer. When I get the answer, I will give you the answer when the time reach. It doesn't make any sense for you to come online and start asking people, oh, what should we do now? You know what to do. Stop pretending that what should we do.
By the end of 2025, they are going to build the American and French base in Nigeria. Maybe people should begin to write that down as well.
I go clap for them straight. Say, welcome. When I don't enter.
Just so people can
know, cost wahala. I like the book. This book that you're reading, Mayogo.
Oh, it's interesting.
And it's very interesting because it will help people open their eyes to the roles these guys played. Nkrumah, Sankara, Frantz Fanon,
Lumumba,
name them. Lumumba.
So many of them.
It will show you. It will tell you what the price that they had to pay for what they did. Because if you check out all those people that were in that conference that they organized, all of them were taken out one by one by one by one at the end of the day. That's the price they had to pay. But we will sit down here and we just feel like, asking us, what should we do? What did Thomas Sankara ask you what you should do when he found out that this was going on? Did he ask people what to do? He did what he had to do. Yes, he paid the ultimate price. But that is the reason why we are talking about them today. That's the reason why we are talking about them today. See? But, man, Mayogo, thank you very much for this book, and I will continue to listen in. You're doing a wonderful job. Great advocate for me and the son.
Send me well to the young man too, the women.
Ingo here. Thank you, Baba.
Take it easy, Baba. So that's a Yima Gudu, a very, very good brother in the temple, you know. So listen, if you are still with me, I'm checking my time because I need to set up for tonight, right? So we've had about almost 3 hours. So I'll just take one last call. Go get ready for the night. I'll have like 2 hours to do that, okay? So now let me speak to Charm. She prefers calling in the morning these days, right? Charm, how are you?
Morning. I'm fine, thank you. The morning is easier, so I don't have people I need to attend to. So the morning is always easier.
Right. Thank you so much for calling in, though. Yeah, please.
Yes, thank you so much. What can I say? The comments I want to make is really around this white malice. I read along with you yesterday, and I read today as well. And quite a number of things struck me as you were reading, you know. And just like the previous caller, you see, when they were organizing that, what's it called, the
African People's Congress.
People's Conference. There's a man that you mentioned his name, who was the person who drew up the agenda. And they said what we read, they said he seemed to know everybody, and even if he didn't know someone directly, he knew someone who knew someone.
He's the special advisor to Nkrumah.
You see, those kind of people I don't trust. Because you never know where their true alliance is. People who know people, just you don't know where they're leaning, right? He wasn't African, was he? He was a white person.
He's from Britain.
He was British. I think that for me, I think when you read and as you're digesting what you're reading, what you realize is that I'm not quite sure. I mean, Kwame Nkrumah, all of these people were great people, but I think they underestimated the battle that they were going to fight. They actually believed that those people were willing to let the continent go. They just permitted them to organize themselves in that place, just to make themselves, just to have a list of targets, to know who they need to kill, destroy, remove, in order to carry on what they're doing. All of these meetings happened. The AAPC meeting happened in 1958. All right.
Yes.
Kwame Nkrumah died in 1972. Then what do you call it? Then you had the Russians. China was not really of a major significance because it was still an emerging economy at the time, so they were not really seen as a threat. But Russia was seen as a massive threat, has always been a massive threat. So I'm almost certain that even the Cold War with Russia had quite a lot to do with Africa.
In the sense that fought in Africa as well, even though it's pronounced as if to say it's just the Soviet versus sister, but it was mostly the Africans that suffered it. Because it was at the moment of African independence that they came on to inflict the war for resources, the war for scramble for Africa. Is it what it's called? Scramble for Africa.
Exactly. So, like reading it, I'm just thinking that, okay, so the next thing you had they said the Soviet war began, the Cold War began around 1948, thereabouts, right? So they've already had the intention to start crippling Russia because they saw Russia as a massive threat. China, not so much, because China's economic emergence was, in fact, I don't think they even imagined it. No. Then you had the Vietnam War as well, because you had a country like Vietnam coming to support African independence. What then happened in the Vietnam War? They fought the Vietnam War. Nobody hears about Vietnam today. Okay? So it almost seems like everything, especially all the wars that go on in the world, it's a war of resources at the end of the day.
It is.
And who has the most resources? Africa. And there was never a point in time. There was one time I called and I told you that these people are playing a long game. We were still playing the short game. We don't really understand that. The establishment is so strong. All of the people who have participated in all of that conference, the presidents at the time, all of these people are dead. But the problem still persists. What that should tell you is that regardless of who is there, the structure is in place. So the problem we have is how to pull down that structure. Mm-hmm. But we're still being what they call it, how I put it, being
disorganized. It's not like we don't know what we want, but we are not so good in organizing yet. There should be a band.
We're not so good. Not only are we not good in organizing, but I also feel like even in that AAPC, there were some pertinent questions they needed to be asking, which they didn't ask, and that's why I'm very, very suspicious of the person who dropped the agenda, because the agenda was carefully steered away from real important topics. Now you're calling nations, you're calling countries together to do all African People's Conference or whatever.
And I know it's to promote the idea of independence, and those who are from their different countries who are pushing for independence of their different countries were those who came together then. So it's just to encourage that, isn't it?
Yeah, you say to encourage it, but to encourage it to who? To encourage it to countries. The problem that we're having in Nigeria now is that we're not a country. Nigeria is not a country, right? It's not a properly defined entity, because there are too many tribes and not tribes. There are too many people, nations. I mean, nations. There are too many nations. There are too many nations within that nation, right? So if we don't address those kind of issues first of all, we can't begin to. I feel like fighting colonialism or trying to remove the chains is the next stop. The first stop is to actually identify the nations. First of all, they were still working under the parameters that were drawn up by the colonialists.
1884-85 Berlin partitioning of
Exactly.
Africa was what they are fighting to free. I get you now.
Exactly. So for me, I feel like that is your point A. Why will Nigerians come together? Who is a Nigerian? What is a Nigerian? Right? We haven't even answered that question, and you're asking us to fight colonialism. No, we can't be working within the boundaries that they drew for us. We can't come together, and that's part of the source of the division. If you see what I'm saying, you're already divided as it is as you're coming. So the interests are so different. We haven't addressed those issues. For me, that should have been the first issue to address. Let us, go back to
redraw our plan and let countries emerge based on their similarity or something.
Let all the nations organically come together. Do you understand? So the Biafrans, the Oduduwa, the Middle Belt, everyone. Even I'm not even talking about only us, because all of this was done not just to Nigeria. They were done to Cameroon. They were done to Congo. They were done to so many countries. These boundaries that they drew together, people that they mismatched together, and are still causing problems. So I feel like that is the first step. And then they started talking about gender issues. That the things that we're talking about and that was not the time for it. Even if women wanted to take a front front seat to what was being discussed, fair enough. But that's not the problem we have. The problem we have is that we still have shackles on our necks. And there's no way that we can progress with those shackles. We need to remove the shackles. After we remove the shackles, we can start having conversations about, how we proceed and progress as nations. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. And that's why I said that they already had us at the back leg with that agenda.
If not for Fanon, that later charged them that non-violence approach is totally off. That charged the conference. They would have probably left the conference believing that they should still be doing the non-violent, peaceful, this or that. Anyway,
exactly. And
go on.
Yeah, and I feel that the person that came with the non-violence, with the violent approach, really understood the problem or the kind of hold that the colonialists had. We came at them; they were prepared for us. They talked about America not showing up. America didn't need to show up. They had their people in there. They knew what they wanted to achieve. If it was in terms of identifying who was going to be a problem, we already did that for them with that conference. Kwame Nkrumah was there. What they call Lumumba was there. All of these people were there. They all made themselves targets. But I guess you have to say, okay, if they didn't do that, what would have been the consequence? So
they were men of those yesteryears who I believe did what they actually felt was right at the time. Now, the good, the bad, the ugly of it, consequences of all of their actions or inactions is what you and I are kind of having to live now. So we should probably just see if we can make it better for our own children, or else.
Michael, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree that we need to make it better for our own selves, but it's also identifying exactly where the issues are and how to actually proceed with regard to resolving those particular issues. I just believe that the biggest problem we have is these stupid boundaries. We don't know who we are with these boundaries, and it seems like even when we realize that the boundaries are an issue, we still have to go to the same United Nations to make a case for why I don't need to subject myself to these boundaries that you people drew up for us. So it's almost as if the cards, the decks are stacked against us, if you see what I'm saying, right? We still have to go back to the same colonialist organizations like the United Nations to make a case where that at the end of the day they'll let you talk, but they're not going to do anything about it. So that violence that we are trying to avoid, it's almost like it's inevitable.
I mean, they say when peaceful, if you make peaceful transition impossible, then you will make a violent breakup inevitable. Charm, thank you so much for this morning. Okay.
I guess so.
I am going to see you later. Okay. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful morning, wherever hours left. Okay. Have a good one. Thank you so much, everyone. Right now, I want to go and see if I could still put together a program tonight. It's for the first time I actually overstretched it. Okay, but it's good having to mix two together. Then we started late as well. So thanks so much for your time. Help me share this, like it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will see you later, this evening with, like Martinelli would say, with another banger. Good afternoon.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Mayegun Diary politico.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Presido bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.